It's day 2 at GDC 2022, and today we're catching up with the developers of VR games like No More Rainbows, Moss, and Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife. Take a look. Hello everyone, Alex VR here from Between Realities for UploadVR.com here at GDC 2022 in San Francisco. And I am joined here by Chris Alderson from PolyArt Games, the developers of Moss, Book 1, and upcoming Book 2. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about Moss Book 2 and what we should be getting excited for?
Moss 2 starts off right at the end of Moss 1. You have just entered the castle, you saved your uncle, you defeated a massive serpent, and now you need to progress into the castle and defeat an even bigger threat, and that is, well, I guess you'll have to experience it to see what's going on. We do allude to some of the dangers that are going to happen, but you and Quill are at it again. You have to learn to cooperate once again. You find new abilities. You become stronger as the reader, and Quill also becomes stronger as the protagonist hero that you help try and save her world.
So what are some of the primary changes that right away fans of Moss will kind of be able to expect when they fire up Moss Book 2?
Yeah, so the first one is you as a reader, you become more powerful. You have some more abilities, and so you're able to interact with the world a little bit more. I feel like that's something that players really wanted from the first game. You know, we took all the things that fans and players loved about the first game, and we we wanted to do more. That's all they wanted. They wanted longer gameplay, they wanted more abilities, they wanted more interactions with Quill, and I'm really happy to say that we're going to deliver on all of that stuff.
Can you tell us a little bit about the decision to have Moss Book 2 as a PSVR exclusive to start?
Yeah, so we really love our partnership with Sony. We think they're just great, and it made a lot of sense to work with them to start. I think the player base there too, they love single-player campaign story-driven games where you have to feel something for the story and the characters that lie within those worlds. And so it was just the right place to start Quill's journey once again. So the game comes out in about a week and a half. We are definitely putting on the final polish on the game, and I'm excited to say that we will deliver it on March 31st.
March 31st on PSVR. Do you have a tentative date for other platforms?
No tentative date, but we are working on delivering that to fans as soon as possible. So yeah, one thing at a time, and I really hope that it comes quicker, sooner than later, but we want to make sure it's right, and as we build everything, we want to make sure that fans are pleased with what we deliver. So.
Right. And I am joined here with Benjamin Barr from Dr. Block, the developers of the new VR game Straylight. How you doing, Benjamin?
I'm doing great.
And why don't you give us just a little bit of the elevator pitch for what Straylight's all about?
Sure. The elevator pitch for Straylight is we tried to build a modern VR game on the principles of an old school platforming game. So you just need to get to the end. That's the only point. But it gets increasingly harder and harder to do. And we offer an experience that we think is pretty rare in the VR space, where you can really move around in ways that a lot of VR games don't let you do with no discomfort whatsoever. And it really allows you a freedom of movement that we think is unparalleled in the VR space. It's a sort of a linear progression through the end, but then we have 12 alternate versions of all the levels, which are interesting variations on gameplay and extremely challenging. So if you're looking for that good game, it'll be in there.
Beautiful. And what platforms can we expect Straylight to come to?
This will be out on all 6 degree of access systems, Oculus Rift, Oculus Quest 2, PSVR, and all Steam supported VR platforms. We're very late in development. The game is very close to being done. As we head into certification and final polishing, we will be doing a release date announcement very soon.
am joined here by Eric from Squiddo Studios, the developers of the new VR game coming up called No More Rainbows. How you doing, Eric?
I'm doing good, thank you. We're at GDC, and it's my first time in GDC, and I'm really excited.
There's been some subtle hype going on around your game. Why don't you tell us a little bit about No More Rainbows? What's going on?
We've been working on No More Rainbows for about a year, and we wanted to make something that we wanted to play, and so we thought that something was maybe missing in the VR space, and we wanted to get the classic feel of a classic platformer. So whatever comes to mind, you're probably right. I'm not going to mention them, but you know what I'm talking about. So we wanted to mix that with a unique locomotion system, and that's how we came about with No More Rainbows. We recently launched a free open beta, and we're like, let's just throw this out there just to start things up. It's free, you can play the entire world one, and then all of a sudden we saw people were starting to cover it. There's YouTube videos starting to pop up everywhere. Like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
That's great to hear. Tell us a little bit about the art direction and the story of the game.
Yeah, sure. So No More Rainbows is about a beast of the underworld, and typically in a video game you play as the protagonist, which is the good guy, and it's always the good versus evil generally, and the player plays as the good guy, right? We kind of mix that up a little bit where you're the beast of the underworld, which is supposed to be the bad guy, and then you have this obnoxiously overly happy good guy that is coming to your underworld to sabotage everything. And so you wake up, there's flowers everywhere, there's greenery, there's everything that shouldn't belong to the underworld is now in the underworld, and you kind of have to undo all these things and take back your domain.
So where are you guys at in the development cycle, and do you have an idea as to a release date for the game?
Right, so we've been working on the game for a year, and we're still in full development. We're still having a bunch of ideas that we're getting thrown around, and so we're not sure when it's going to release. We thought about maybe late 2022, but things are changing really fast. We're thinking about adding multiplayer, a procedurally generated endless mode on top of a 5-hour campaign. So it could go into early 2023 maybe, but I'd say around somewhere around Q4 2022, and maybe if things really stretch out, Q2 2023 to be fully finished.
Yeah, cool. What platforms are you aiming for the game to come out on?
Of course, we're aiming for a Meta Quest is the first and foremost. That's where we want to be. But then we're really open. We'd like to ship fully cross-platform on PSVR 2 when that comes out, on Steam, on HTC, Pico. If we can be absolutely everywhere and even do some cross-play thing, multiplayer, that would be our ultimate goal. I can't promise any of that, but that would be the best thing.
I am joined here by Oscar Berman, the CEO and founder of Fast Travel Games. How you doing, Oscar?
I'm good. Nice to be here.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about Cities VR?
So, Cities VR is a VR adaptation of City Skylines, which I'm guessing a lot of your fans are knowing by heart. So it's a city builder that's been really successful in the flat screen space, and we're making a VR adaptation of that game. And yeah, Cities is a fantastic game with a lot of depth, but just in VR, it's quite magical to actually be painting the streets right in front of you, be in this world, putting down the houses where you want them, and then just zoom down very close to the ground and see the city, and then zoom back up again. It's just magical. For me, it feels like this is the way that the game was always meant to be played. So yeah, it's going to be amazing to launch it and see what people think.
Will this game be launching with hand tracking as a functionality?
No. It's to be played with controllers. Could possibly be made with hand tracking, but yeah, we're focusing on getting the game working really well with controllers first, and then we'll see. We're going to add a lot of content and features to this game over the months and years coming after the launch. So who knows what's going to happen there.
Yeah. Virtuoso is another title that's recently come out for Fast Travel Games. How's the reception been for Virtuoso?
Really well. So Virtuoso is our first publishing title where we actually launch a game that's built by another developer So this was an initiative we started last year, and now we had Virtuoso launching as the first game of that initiative. And now we're seeing a lot of people just creating music and content in this sandbox app and creating music. So it's just so fun to get that one launched and seeing everything that's being created. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a very successful launch for us.
And anything on the horizon that you want to tell us about?
We have a bunch in the works, but nothing that I can reveal today. But we have several games in the internal studio that we're working on, and we have several games on the publishing side that we're working on. So hopefully you will know more about future games not too far off. Very vague. But yeah, it's going to be fun to start introducing other games as well.
For more GDC coverage, be sure to follow UploadVR.com and Between Realities. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you for the next video.